in-law problems. Get ready with me while I talk about my mother-in-law. In May, my husband and I will have been married for 26 years. We dated for 9 years. My husband's parents were not only pastors, they were my pastors. I had joined the church. My husband was their musician, and I was just another girl that had joined the church talking to one of their sons. We started off good, but it quickly shifted as my husband and I, then boyfriend and girlfriend, started getting a little more serious. The relationship between myself and his parents got a little weird. A couple of years into our relationship, I got pregnant with my first son, Austin, and needless to say, that made the relationship even more strained. Fast forward, my husband and I decide on one random day, one random Monday morning in May, that we're just gonna go get married. And that's what we did. Oh, and I know I'm not the best at doing eyebrows, but mind your business. I'm working on it. Now here we are married, and we go to church that night because there is a revival. And my mother-in-law finds out that we're married, and she starts crying. She's like, no, I know you all didn't do that without telling me. And she was crying and her feelings were hurt, understandably. So we got married and life started right away. The tension between myself and the family was immediate, but, you know, a little misunderstood. Gerald and I had our own way of thinking, our own way of doing things, and I'm sure it felt very much like the son that they had known was totally different, and of course, it had to be my fault. So we had family meetings, family misunderstandings, family tension, family arguments, and even at one point, some time of separation and disconnection. So I did tell you that my husband's parents were pastors, but they're more than just pastors, because I know pastors get a bad rap. My mom-in-law, and I'm talking about her specifically, she's a woman of faith. My mother-in-law, a woman of prayer. She loves the Lord. And so she's a preacher, she's a teacher, she's all of these powerful things in God. First time I'm ever really seeing a woman like this do these kinds of things. Just this powerful woman is this little itty bitty woman that happens to be my husband's mom, that I'm also maybe not having the best relationship with, but she's amazing. So even at some of our worst times, with some of our biggest misunderstandings, and we had some of them, make no mistake about it, there was never a time that my mother-in-law, his mother, was not welcome in my home, was not welcome around my children. My husband didn't go to family functions and I stay home. I wouldn't miss holidays. I wouldn't miss birthdays. I wouldn't miss anything. It didn't matter how we were struggling or even if I was challenged with how I felt, right? It was family. It was his family. In turn, it was my family. And we had to figure out a way. I would not be the wife to make my husband choose between me and his mom. Years down the line, my husband's mother and I have become so amazingly close. It's unbelievable. And we both played a part in that. She loved him. I loved him. She loves God. I love God. And it just, our hearts couldn't live in a space where neither of those things were represented. You know what I'm saying? So I said all that to say it's the beginning of Women's History Month. And if you have seen me preach, prophesy, teach, talk, love on people, I look like my mama. I get it from my mama, or at least my mother-in-law. And I want anyone that's dealing with in-law issues to know and understand they're real and they're challenging. But there will come a day when my husband's mother will be gone, my husband's father will be gone. And I would never want him to look at me and feel like I kept him from his family that that he had to choose. And because we really tried, and because I'm really saved, and because they're really saved, guess what? We're actually family. It's not fake. It's not phony. It's none of the things. We love each other. So if you're struggling with the in-law thing, get into prayer. If you're already saved, let God change your heart, because I think it might be dealing with a little bitterness. But today I want to shout out my mother-in-law, one of the best women I know, Joyce Haddon. I love you, girl.